For the last decade, Visual Studio Code has been the undisputed king of the developer desktop. But Google just released something that makes your favorite editor look like a glorified notepad. Welcome to the era of Antigravity, Google's new agent-first IDE that wants to turn you from a programmer into a vibe manager. It's February 2026, and if you're still typing out every single for loop by hand, you're basically a digital blacksmith in a world of industrial 3D printing. You might have heard of Cursor or Windsurf, but Antigravity is Google's $2.4 billion bet on the death of the editor. On the surface, it looks like another VSCode fork, because, well, it literally is. The community is already calling it a pork, a proprietary fork, but what's happening under the hood is anything but standard. Traditional IDEs are built around the idea of a human typing into a file. Antigravity is built around the idea of a Gemini 3-powered agent doing the heavy lifting while you sip your $9 oat milk latte. It introduces two distinct ways to work: the editor view and the manager view. The editor view is what you expect: syntax highlighting, a file tree, and a terminal that still smells like Linux. But hit the toggle and you enter the manager surface, which looks less like an editor and more like a NASA mission control. Here, you don't write code. You spawn agents like you're playing a real-time strategy game. You give a high-level prompt like, build me a TikTok clone for dogs. And the system doesn't just start hallucinating Python. It creates a plan artifact, a step-by-step breakdown of how it's going to build the front-end, back-end, and database. If the plan looks like garbage, you tell it to fix it before it writes a single line. Once you approve, the agent takes over the terminal, the editor, and a built-in browser. It's actually kind of terrifying to watch the cursor fly around the screen, creating files and running npm install while you just watch. But the real anti-gravity magic is the integrated browser actuation. When the agent finishes a UI component, it opens the built-in browser, clicks the buttons it just made, and takes a screenshot to verify it actually works. If the button is off-center or the CSS is disgusting, the agent sees the screenshot, realizes it failed, and loops back to fix it. This is what Google calls verification artifacts. It's the AI showing its work, so you don't have to. But don't delete your Stack Overflow account just yet, because the launch hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. Recently, users have been complaining that the Gemini 3 models are suffering from a performance decline. Some developers report the agent making excuses, refusing to follow plans, or, my personal favorite, deleting the entire codebase by accident. It's also a massive resource hog. If your laptop fans sound like a jet engine, that's just the cost of the future. And, because it's Google, the safety railguards are dialed up to 11. Try to code anything even remotely controversial, and the agent might lecture you on ethics instead of finishing your API. Then there's the privacy issue. Researchers already found that agents were accidentally exfiltrating NEB files into public logs. So maybe don't use it on your top secret government project just yet. But despite the bugs, the multi-agent workflow is a genuine productivity multiplier. You can have one agent refactoring your legacy COBOL while another agent builds a React frontend in a separate workspace. It's like having a team of junior developers who never sleep, never complain about the lack of snacks, and never ask for a promotion. Google even added a deep think mode for when you need the AI to solve actually hard architectural problems. It supposedly achieved 41% on humanity's last exam, which is more than most of my coworkers can say. So, is it time to uninstall VS Code and move your life to the cloud? For enterprise-grade, massive monoliths, VS Code is still the king of stability and predictability. But if you're building MVPs, prototypes, or just trying to vibe code your way to a billion-dollar startup, Antigravity is the new gold standard. The transition is weird. You spend less time typing and more time clicking approve or reject. It makes you feel less like an engineer and more like a product owner with a very fast, very drunk intern. But as the models get smarter and the pork gets more polished, the gap between writing code and describing software is closing. Google's goal is liftoff, enabling anyone with an idea to build it without knowing what a semicolon even does. If you want to try it, it's currently in public preview and free to use, as long as you don't mind Gemini watching your every move. Just remember to keep your Git backups handy, because the agent terminated error is the new blue screen of death. We're moving toward a future where the IDE isn't just a tool, it's a teammate. Whether that teammate is a genius or a liability depends entirely on how well you can manage them. The gravity of traditional coding is pulling us down, but Google wants us to float. It's a brave new world for developer experience, and it's moving faster than your node modulus can grow. If you aren't experimenting with agentic IDEs in 2026, you're basically coding with one hand tied behind your back. So download the preview, spawn some agents, and try not to let them delete your production database. The future of software development is here, and it's officially weird. If you think this is just a fancy UI wrapper, you need to look at the Gemini 3 benchmarks that power this entire ecosystem. In the latest BigCodeBench trials, Gemini 3 Pro outperformed GPT 4.5 by a staggering 15% in complex multi-file reasoning. But the real secret sauce is the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, which Google calls the USB-C for AI. Antigravity has a built-in MCP store that lets you connect your agent to BigQuery, GitHub, or PayPal, and many other with literally 2 clicks. Instead of copy-pasting database schemas, the agent plugs directly into your AlloyDB instance, reads the metadata, and writes production-ready SQL. It's knowledge management as a core primitive. The agent actually learns from your specific codebase and saves snippets to a local knowledge base. Ready to see it in action? Let's do a hello world in the manager view that's actually useful. Step 1. Open the manager surface and hit New Task to spawn your first autonomous architect. Give it a prompt like, build a Next.js personal finance dashboard with Tailwind and shadcn.ui, and watch the task checklist artifact appear. Don't just let it run. This is where you play boss mode by reviewing the plan and telling it to skip the crypto features because you're not a grifter. Once you hit accept, the agent initializes the repo, installs dependencies, and scaffolds the entire project structure in the background. While it's working, you can switch back to the editor view to see the code appearing in real time, or just keep managing from the cockpit. The finale is the walkthrough artifact, where the agent records a video of itself navigating the app to prove that every button actually works. If you're ready to stop being a code monkey and start being a system designer, the public preview of Antigravity is waiting for you right now. The era of vibe coding isn't a meme anymore. It's the new minimum requirement for staying relevant in the unhinged world of 2026.